Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, I've got something for you a little bit different than what I usually have on this channel. I look at one of my coaching calls that I had with recently with two of my students, brother Feroz and brother Munib. So if you're into maqamat, and you've seen a lot of these videos that I have, often they're like shorter demos of different maqamat. This one is a little bit interesting because we're reading from surah Al-Furqan, from the top of the juz, the juz 19, juz 19, juz 19, juz 19. Yeah, it's juz 19. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ لَا يَرْجُونَ. Okay, and it's a bunch of different maqamat. So these students are a little bit more advanced. Like we're reading, I'm not really explaining, breaking down patterns for them or explaining kind of like, okay, this is what you need to do for this specific maqam. They're already kind of comfortable in these maqamat. So you'll get, if you're into maqamat, you'll kind of enjoy it. First of all, that it's a little bit more context based. Like, okay, we're reading these ayat and we're applying the maqamat in this context. Okay, you'll get to see some kind of interesting fluctuations. Like if we're reading a bayati, then different fluctuations that we're doing on the same ayah, kind of expressing bayati in different ways. And it's something that you can follow along with as well. If you're trying to learn maqamat, or you can also, just like the students are repeating, you can repeat after me when I'm giving these little prompts and trying out different stuff with the maqam. The other thing we do a little bit of it is transitioning, so like moving from one maqam to another. And the one thing to keep in mind with that is that because it's a class setting, we're doing more transitioning than say you might normally do in reading, but it's good anyways. You can get a sense of like which maqams kind of go to other maqamat, and especially as it relates to the meaning of what we're reciting and so on. It was just a fun call, and I thought, let me share it with you guys. If you find it beneficial, I would really appreciate if you can give me a subscribe and a thumbs up, and inshallah that helps this video and other videos on this channel reach others as well. Jazakumullah khairan, have fun, enjoy the video, and see you inshallah in another video, right? If you have any have any thoughts, you have any questions, suggestions for other videos, please do let me know in the comments. And I appreciate you, and jazakumullah khairan for your support. Take care and enjoy the video. Assalamu alaikum. Okay, what do you have in mind for today? We're continuing from Furqan.
Yeah, that's fine. I've been sort of playing around with bayati a little bit, so wherever we find ourselves, we can maybe figure out a way to squeeze bayati in. That would be nice.
Okay, we can start with bayati. Bayati is nice to start with.
Okay.
How is your bayati right now? Have you gone through some of the bayati stuff I put out recently?
Actually, the most beneficial clip I found, I got my hands on was the one you actually sent yesterday. Was it for one of the other guys?
Okay.
Which is,
so that was a repost. I had posted that a little while
ago.
Oh,
is it? Okay,
yeah,
I may have missed it. Okay.
Yeah, inshallah. It was hiding in Telegram in the other Telegram channel, so I just
posted
it.
Okay. Okay.
So that was
okay.
Like the students were kind of pushing me. So some maqamat, when I do it, I don't have like too many patterns laid out. So the students were pushing me to like give them more patterns or breakdowns for bayati. So I was kind of like doing some thinking, and I came up with those patterns. So
okay, yeah, that actually is the most varied list that I've seen on your channels.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so we can do some of that as well. Bro, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you doing?
Good, alhamdulillah. And you?
Alhamdulillah. Just got off of another meeting, so I knew we were meeting this morning, but I was just it's like two different platforms. It's not on my calendar, so I had to connect things. How are you guys doing?
Alhamdulillah. So we're continuing with Furqan, and Munib wants to do some bayati as well. We can get some bayati in there as well. You guys want to start from the beginning or go from the juz? And Feroz, anything else from your side that you were practicing or you want help with?
No, I mean, honestly, I'm just kind of like last time, just trying to I was trying to yesterday, I was thinking about it. I need a way to quickly go into the next maqam, right? Like, so, I need, right now, I'm still in some of these maqams, I need to like take a break, hit the pause button, be like, okay, like go through my patterns and then kind of continue. But I do know, like, for example, I heard one reciter do say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim in a way that I can replicate and go into nahawand, right? But I don't have that so I need something similar for other maqams, right? So maybe it's Bismillah, maybe it's just
from your actual start of the reading, or midway while you're reading, to switch to a different one.
Well, I've only tried it as I'm starting, but I think if I were to do it in the middle, like for nahawand, like if Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honestly, right now I can't even think of that one, but it is there because
Okay.
I've heard
here's
it.
An idea for us. Let's do some reading. Let's do some reading. Afterwards, if you want, we can go through Isti'adha and Basmala for all the maqamat, or it could be like an assignment for you, because I think if you figure it out, if you try to like come up with Isti'adha and Basmala for all the maqamat, then that's normally like the best prompt for you. Like,
I think so. Yeah.
day, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I was telling one of the brothers yesterday, because he was trying to do one of the newer students, like he was trying to do nahawand, and his Isti'adha and Basmala was not in nahawand. So I told him, like, right away you're starting off with the wrong foot, and it'll be harder to get into it, right? So I told him, like, see, part of the maqamat, I mean, it's interesting, but you start with a few patterns, and then you actually learn more patterns, but then you also want to sometimes narrow down your options, right? So like the Isti'adha and Basmala is a good example of that. That like I was telling him, like, if I do my Isti'adha and Basmala and nahawand, I would say 99.9% of the time it's the exact same way, right? It's like 1 3 2 1 0 1 A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. And because like that's just the way I start, it gives me one start, right? And then after that I can do whatever I want to do. But I would probably never really do anything different with the Isti'adha for nahawand. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. And now it's wide open, right? وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ Can you guys hear me? My mic on?
I can hear you. But it was there.
Is this better, Munib?
Oh yes. That's much
better. I just brought the mic closer.
Okay. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem. So, right, so once I have that start, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Now it's like وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ لَا يَرْجُونَ, right? Or it's like وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ. But even there, I would probably not start with like a 1-5, right? So by kind of narrowing down your choice at the beginning, then you just start in that maqam.
Yeah, so the Bismillah that I was talking about is like Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. And then I usually would go down first, and then I would eventually take off. And I also like the thing that you mentioned last time, like you should spend some time in the lower realm. And you should spend some time in the on the lower part of the maqam before you start exploring. But the other thing was interesting. This Imam Bakhir online? He's been like putting a lot of videos and stuff. He describes nahawand as like a very happy maqam, which I've never, the way we've learned it, it hasn't been that way, but the way he reads it, it's like, okay, yeah, I guess it is kind of happy, the way you're reciting it. And he spends much more time in the middle and higher.
The middle and higher, yeah. Okay, so I was actually doing that with with Saud yesterday, because he had asked about that. And we were reading a section, the end of Surah Ibrahim, and we were practicing, like I was just getting him to read. So I was like, read it in nahawand, but make it sound like serious, right? Or like make it sound sad, kind of thing. So those are things you can play with. Sometimes it has to do with where in the maqam you're doing it, right? So like will sound a little bit more sad than like like something in the middle is like like a Sheikh al-Husri style, like sounds kind of serious, right? وقال الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا لولا أنزل علينا الملائكة أو نرى ربنا. Like it has like a almost like a narrative voice, right? Like it's like just a
Yeah.
descriptive kind of, right? But then even if you go higher, right? That's still nahawand, but it has like a different feel to it because you're kind of exploring it in that part, right?
Yeah.
وقال
No,
الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا لولا أنزل علينا الملائكة أو نرى ربنا. Has a different feel, so you can kind of, I mean, those are things we could play around with when we do this reading stuff. Let's read so we dive into it, and then Feroz, at the end, if you want to go over isti'adha and basmala for some stuff, we can do that. Otherwise, that could be a good assignment for you. Just try to like come up with an isti'adha and basmala for at least a few maqamat that sounds good to you, right? Just like this
Inshallah.
1, 4, 3, 2. Like I do that with bayati as well. Like أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. And that's my bayati, how I would start like isti'adha basmala, right? Hijaz, probably I do something similar. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Right? So 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So that kind of like that might just be my style, but that's how the isti'adha and basmala works in my head. Kind of like then from there now you can kind of go whichever direction.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Okay, let's go. Bismillah. وقال الذين, guys. Top of the just Munib, go ahead. Get started in bayati.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وقال الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا لولا أنزل علينا الملائكة أو نرى ربنا لقد استكبروا في أنفسهم وعتوا عتوا كبيرا يوم يرون الملائكة لا بشرى يومئذ للمجرمين ويقولون حجرا محجورا وقدمنا إلى ما عملوا من عمل فجعلناه هباء منثورا أصحاب الجنة يومئذ خير مستقرا وأحسن مقيلا
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام. Yeah, Munib, go ahead a little bit, and then I'll switch to Feroz.
Okay. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا.
Do you
Sorry.
use the bottom at all? So like ويوم تشقق. You can match it to your level. Do your do that.
In recitation or in
Just
the scale?
notes. Okay, try to use that. Try the 1, 2, 3, 4 a little bit as well.
Okay. Okay. ويوم تشقق السماء.
So that's jump. See that jump? So ويوم تشقق السماء. So you're spending a lot of time here. Try here. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا
Okay, try
الملك
this now.
يوم
Try. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا
تنزيلا.
come back down there. Okay.
Yeah.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا. I don't know if I'm getting it right.
Yeah, no worries. It'll take some practice because I think you tend to jump.
Yeah.
So what this is doing is going to add more
Variety.
more options to your bayati, right? That you can
Okay.
still do that if you like it up there, then go for it. But it'll give you more control at the bottom and more options to come down as well.
Okay.
Feroz, try from go back from the top of the page, وقال الذين, and then we'll join up here again.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, so here's
وقال
here, try this, Feroz. Try the أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وقال الذين لا يرجون لقاءنا لولا أنزل علينا الملائكة أو نرى ربنا لقد استكبروا في أنفسهم وعتوا عتوا كبيرا.
Again, don't repeat ربنا. Correct? ربنا is connected to what?
Okay.
Yeah.
لولا أنزل علينا الملائكة أو نرى ربنا لقد استكبروا في أنفسهم وعتوا عتوا كبيرا. يوم يرون الملائكة لا بشرى يومئذ للمجرمين ويقولون حجرا محجورا. وقدمنا إلى ما عملوا من عمل فجعلناه هباء منثورا. أصحاب الجنة يومئذ خير مستقرا وأحسن مقيلا.
Okay, try this. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام. Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, so we're using like so a lot of bayat you can actually get. I mean, there's the style that Munib is doing, which is like the one. But you can use a lot here as well, from 1 to 4. So ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام. So it's like 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
يوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
Let's take turns. So I'll do it, and then Munib you repeat, and then Feroz you repeat, and then I'll just different prompts. Okay. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
Feroz. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
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 So try on the line. بالغمام.
بالغمام.
Yeah, أحسنت. Try it one more time. From the ويوم.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
Okay. When you try that? Yeah. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
Rose. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
ويوم تشقق السماء ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا.
Rose.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا.
الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا.
الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن.
That's okay. That I thought hijaz would make sense there, but I just went with bayati because we were practicing that. Go for it. I was gonna switch to hijaz at some point, anyways. Go for it.
Okay.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا. الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا. الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا.
So what I intended was to join Al-Mulku Yawmin al-Haqq lir-Rahman. This ayah connects to the previous few ayat, right? And then وَيَوْمَ يَعَضُّ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ. It's like kind of like a different paragraph. So I was going to go to hijaz from وَيَوْمَ.
Okay.
So try it one more time and try this one with bayati. ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا.
Feroz, the two ayat.
ويوم تشقق السماء بالغمام ونزل الملائكة تنزيلا الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا.
الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا. Rose, try that.
الملك يومئذ الحق للرحمن وكان يوما على الكافرين عسيرا.
Continue for Rose. ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه.
ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا
يعض.
ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا.
منيب. يا ويلتى
ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا.
Rose, you can go back and forth.
لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا.
وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا.
وكذلك
go back. Let's do the section one by one together. So Munib from ويوم يعض الظالم.
ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا. يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا. لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا. وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا.
Feroz, ويوم يعض.
ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا. يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا. لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا. وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا.
Okay. 100%. Yeah, so this is like a intense kind of section, right? So you want to bring out that pain in your voice. I think so this phrase وَكَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ لِلْإِنسَانِ خَذُولًا, different translations put it, I haven't checked like tafsir, but different translations put it as وَكَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ لِلْإِنسَانِ خَذُولًا, as part of the quote from before. يا ويلتى يا ويلتى لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني, and continue in the speech of the zalim, وَكَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ لِلْإِنسَانِ خَذُولًا. But I think more correctly, it's like a commentary. It's like the phrase ends, the quote ends بعد إذ جاءني, and then as a phrase وَكَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ لِلْإِنسَانِ خَذُولًا, as like a remark. Yeah. Okay, let's try this. ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه. منيب?
ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه. I can't do that.
Okay. No worries. If it's too long, then you can start lower. ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه.
ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه.
Is there an issue with my sound, Munib? Are you still not hearing me okay?
When you come forward, it's perfectly fine.
Oh, okay. Why is it? Let me see something.
It's just my side. Maybe not sure if it's
Okay. Normally, I keep it a little bit more back, but I can come closer if that helps. Okay. ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه.
ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه.
ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا.
ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا.
يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا.
يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا.
لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني.
لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني.
وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا.
وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا.
وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا.
وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا.
وكذلك جعلنا. So there's two ways you could try here. This like Russ. وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا من المجرمين وكفى بربك هاديا ونصيرا. Or a different way you can even try is to go to nahawand. وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا من المجرمين وكفى بربك هاديا ونصيرا. Try either one, whichever works for you, and then I'll go back to Feroz from the whole section.
Okay. وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا من المجرمين وكفى بربك هاديا ونصيرا. I studied in Hijaz for some reason.
No worries. خير إن شاء الله. Feroz, let's go back. ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا.
ويوم يعض الظالم على يديه يقول يا ليتني اتخذت مع الرسول سبيلا.
يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا.
يا ويلتى ليتني لم أتخذ فلانا خليلا.
لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني.
لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني.
وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا.
وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا.
وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا.
وقال الرسول يا رب إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا.
وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا من المجرمين.
وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا من المجرمين.
وكفى بربك هاديا ونصيرا.
وكفى بربك هاديا ونصيرا.
وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة.
وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة.
كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا.
كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا.
Munib, you want to try that? I don't know if you practiced the rast nahawand more after that
Yeah,
previous time. You can try it here if you
I've
want.
been
So
doing it a little bit.
try it if you want
Uh,
here. وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي. Okay.
وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا من المجرمين وكفى بربك هاديا ونصيرا. وقال الذين no
So keep it at the
رست
same level. وقال الذين.
okay. وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا.
So one thing you can try and upwards on واحدة. وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا.
وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا.
Okay, that's good. Try. So the way you ended واحدة is good. Try كذلك lower.
Okay, lower.
Yeah, so لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك. So it kind of emphasizes the كذلك, right? The
كذلك,
response.
yes. Okay. وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا.
Feroz can carry on in your choice. You can go Rust if you want. Go back to nahawand.
ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا.
Join it with the previous ayah. Join it with the previous ayah because it's a continuation. So go back. وقال الذين.
وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا. ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا. الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا.
Okay. Munib, try that from وقال الذين.
وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة. وقال الذين واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا.
Try it again. So there's no right or wrong. Meaning, like if you ended a certain way, then just adjust as you go along.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I meant. I mean, if you want to do it the other way, you can do it. But if that's the way it came out, then just kind of adjust on the fly, right?
Okay. ولا يأتونك
Go back. So
بمثل.
you join these three ayah together. So وقال الذين كفروا, and then this ayah here is this thing, right? ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا. That it's commenting on the previous thing, right? So the الذين كفروا are saying, why isn't the Quran revealed as like one piece, right? And then ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا. They don't come to you with any sort of like argument except that we come back with the truth and the best ahsana tafsira, the best explanation or the best response, I guess.
Okay. وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا. ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا. الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا.
Try here. If you're doing Rust before ولا يأتونك, now try الذين يحشرون, go back to nahawand. So like this, for example.
Okay.
وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا. ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا. الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا.
الذين يحشرون على وجه. Okay. مصدر وقال الذين كفروا.
You can go ولا يأتونك.
Okay. ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا. الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم.
Okay, so you're doing that thing where it's lower, right? No worries. You'll kind of figure it out with some more practice.
I think
الذين يحشرون.
الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا.
Okay, yeah. Feroz, try that as well. You can go from وقال الذين if you prefer, or ولا يأتونك. Go from وقال الذين.
وقال الذين كفروا لولا نزل عليه القرآن جملة واحدة كذلك لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا.
Okay, but close it off because the next section is going to begin.
أضل سبيل وأضل سبيلا.
Again, go. ولا يأتونك again.
الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا.
وأضل سبيلا.
وأضل سبيلا.
Start one high. وأضل سبيلا.
وأضل سبيلا.
Yeah. So then it sounds like you're kind of finishing that. وَلَقَدْ أَتَيْنَا Musa is like, وَقَوْمَ نُوحٍ and then وَعَادَ وَثَمُودَ, and it just continues. So it's a different kind of paragraph.
It's completely different,
yeah. وَلَا يَأْتُونَ.
But is that the right transition to nahawand though?
You mean to transition here on الَّذِينَ?
Yeah, when I made that transition, I was trying not to like become
lower too. Yeah. No, it's okay. I mean, some of these things, like even the way we're doing it with learning the rast and nahawand side by side, it still will take a little bit of navigating. You know.
Agreed.
And you know what's interesting? Like my own experience with maqamat is that because I didn't figure it out with doing stuff side by side, I just figured it out by navigating, right? That like you guys are actually doing it a lot faster than I did it, right? Like I kind of had to figure out for myself. So you're doing okay in that regard, you know.
I just
that navigating process, right? Because like it is like it's kind of like knowing the map, but then actually driving and being comfortable with like, you know, okay, there's my exit, but like you're in the left.
And then I think also there's a little bit of like
South Africa, but
yeah.
You know, you're in the wrong lane, right? It's like, you know, the exit is there, so you know the map, but if you're in the wrong lane, like you can't just jump over. Like you have to, maybe you skip that exit, you take the next exit. So it's kind of, there's that process of navigating and feeling your way through it. How do you guys?
I think
drive
the confidence.
By the way, you drive on the right side or on the left side?
Keep left pass right. So it's we drive
like
on
which like in North America, our cars drive on the right side of the road.
Yeah, ours is left. Ours is left.
Oh, yours is left. Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Like you're like the UK.
Yeah, correct. When I spent some time in America for some corporate training and stuff. Anyway, we hired a car because my wife wanted to go some places, and man, it was the most complicated thing. One of the most complicated things I've ever done in my life, because there's certain things when you drive you take for granted. Being on the right side of the road is one of them. It's just so that was an experience. But yeah, we on the left hand side.
Oh, okay. So it's a similar. I mean, it's not a perfect analogy, but the idea is like you can have the map, but you still have to navigate the doing of it yourself. And so you use the map as a guide, and then you still have to practice and see what feels comfortable as well. I mean, in your case, Munib, if it's like completely offset, like you're doing rast up here and then one down here, it might be a little bit harder, but you'll get it, inshallah.
Yeah. I actually find that the transitions work better for me at the higher notes. At the lower notes, for some other reason, I always end up in hijaz.
Okay.
So if I were to do like الذين يحشرون على, then I just always end up in hijaz. So So I try to go up with the notes rather than come down, which is advice you gave me actually. So try and get the transitions that high.
Fine, inshallah. So Feroz, you wanted to see how yours was
Yeah,
okay.
because I think like I didn't want to get, so sometimes like what you were talking about taking the exit, you can sit there and be like, all right, now I gotta hit the signal, I gotta start turning my wheel this way, and I gotta look, you know, instead of doing that, I just wanted to just go and just not like think about it too much technically and just see what happens, you know, like did I hit the mark or not, did I get into the right lane? So I was
so
just
the easiest
hoping
thing
that
here, look, if I say ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا. So that's where I'm ending my rust. Now وأحسن تفسيرا الذين. You hear how my الذين I jumped? Like I went back up. وأحسن تفسيرا الذين يحشرون على وجوههم. So if I ended here, Rust, وَأَحْسَنَ تَفْسِيرًا, I didn't continue from here, الَّذِينَ يُحْشَرُونَ عَلَى, right? Then you'll kind of like end up with this Rust on top of nahawand here. But I went back up. وَأَحْسَنَ تَفْسِيرًا الَّذِينَ يُحْشَرُونَ عَلَى وُجُوهِهِم.
it's slight, but it is noticeable.
Yeah, try it here.
ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا
ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا.
ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا.
So now if you want, الذين could be like the same level as tafsira, but then go up from there. الذين يحشرون على وجوههم وأحسن تفسيرا الذين تفسيرا الذين يحشرون على وجوههم
وأحسن تفسيرا وأحسن تفسيرا الذين you can, for me almost it's easier to just do kind of like what Munib was saying, الذين يحشرون على وجوههم إلى جهنم أولئك شر مكانا وأضل سبيلا.
So that's the exact same thing, you just jumped higher. So
yeah,
so
I don't want to mess around anymore.
You see like tafsira, where you ended tafsira
too many
in
micro notes.
Yeah. No, you see that when you ended tafsira in Rust and alladina in nahawand was the same, and then you made that like a 1-5 of nahawand.
Yeah.
الذين يحشرون على وجوههم. So you went like that's good. So they're lined up basically.
Yeah, because sometimes in those small like differences in notes, it's almost harder to make that transition. As long as you can match it. For me, sometimes it just worked out well. I was like, escape out of here with the 5 note.
Yeah, fine, inshallah. I mean, whatever works, right? Like, but as long as you conceptually you see this, it's the same thing, right? It's like that where you ended tafsira, you didn't like go more down for alladhina yuhsharuna. It's like you brought it back into the same space, but just with nahawand. Yeah.
Could you, if you didn't stop there and you happen to just connect the verses, like tafsiran alladhina,
you would do the same thing, right?
You could make the transition without a stop, right?
Yeah, because it would be the same thing. So like, ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا الذين يحشرون على وجوههم. Because it's the same, like the stop or no stop is not gonna like the maqam is kind of like separate to that, right? Yeah. Okay. Anything else quickly, because Munib needs to go in a couple minutes. Munib, anything else from your side?
No, I'm okay.
And do you want to do more of this next week? وَلَقَدْ أَتَيْنَا مُوسَى?
Yeah, we can.
And then I like Surah Furqan. I used to listen a lot to Sheikh Mustafa Ismail. He has this recitation of Rahimahullah, Surah Furqan, the end. or maybe even the whole beginning, or multiple recordings of different pieces that I used to be really into back in the day.
Okay, I actually have a favorite of him, Surah Hajj. It's an old recording. I'm not sure if you've heard it, but he's the way he builds up his bayati. I mean, he goes through the full range of bayati, shuri, nawa. I mean, like, it's just mind-boggling. Like, yeah, you can recite like 2.5 pages of bayati, all different,
Okay,
and then he
send it in the
goes
group. Send
into
it in the
some
group.
other
I'd like to
maqam.
listen.
It's just
Yeah. Send it in the group if you have it. Yeah. It's not on YouTube,
I'll
or it's like
post
a
it.
file.
No, it's YouTube. It's YouTube. I'll
Okay,
post
yeah,
it,
send it in the
inshallah.
group. Yeah.
Will do.
Okay, Khan, inshallah. Anything else, or
Okay.
should we continue from here next week?
I'm okay to continue.
Feroz, assignment for you, Feroz. Why don't you just try that the basmala, isti'adha and basmala? Try to like. So what I would recommend, repeat it to yourself a few times. Like, for example, you're doing nahawand, just do the isti'adha and basmala a few times over and over in nahawand, and you'll kind of be able to, in your case anyways, you'll be able to settle on something that sounds like a good, consistent way for you to do it. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe even just freestyle it, like hit record, freestyle it like 20 times, and maybe you go back and listen, and you hear that like out of the 20, 15 of them are the same, and then there were a few like, you know, one this way, one that way. So you kind of discard those and settle on that one. And once you have that as a good anchor point, then it's your consistent prompt to start in nahawand.
Yeah, I think if I'm in the maqam, I can stay there.
Yeah.
I think it's the switch that, I mean, again, we're trying to do all these, everyone's call them fancy things, but it is like to switch between maqams is great, and there's the impact, but and I want to grow in that direction. So that's why we're dealing with this. But otherwise, alhamdulillah, it's been good. Just learning within the same maqam and trying different things, using variations, and ending high, ending
is one
low.
of those that you know, we can do more reading and even go back over the same section and just do more in bayati too, because there's a lot that can be done, right? Just like what we were doing, right? There's a lot of like fluctuations and stuff we can do just in bayati. So I'm open, you know, if you guys are practicing something specific and you come back next time, you want to go back to waqala ladina. Yeah. Okay, Khan, inshallah. Munib needs to go. Let's end there for today, and we'll be back next week, inshallah.
All right.
Okay,
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.